And joining me now here in the studios at WOJB is Chris Ruckdaschel of the Hayward Area Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I am good, Mark, and good to be here.
Very cool. Well, it's been a month, and of course, while you were gone, summer happened, and oh my
Yeah.
goodness, all the things that are come along with summer is I felt like the past couple of days were a month worth of summer compressed into 2 days, including mosquitoes. That's been the biggest thing. Have you heard a lot about mosquitoes in your area?
Yeah, actually I have. Boy, that is kind of the talk of the the town in some ways. They're back in very full force.
Yeah,
It's different every year on that, isn't it, Mark?
yeah. It
And I
wasn't
know,
like this last year.
yeah. But we are going right into summer, including this holiday weekend. I mean,
Yeah,
looks beautiful. I mean, downright hot. But I think we're all going to welcome that.
yeah.
Uh, So it's things have been picking up pretty darn steadily here over the last several weeks in and around the area as far as activity, folks coming in, those that have second homes, visitors getting things ready. And I think things are really going to explode this weekend, around the area as well. Just a lot of fun. It's the unofficial kickoff of summer, wouldn't you say?
Yep, yep. Well, I was in town yesterday, and I noticed it was a distinct increase in traffic in the area. And one of the biggest frustrations I know people are going to find is we have a construction project in the middle of 63, which
Yeah.
is closing down our main artery. And so,
Yeah.
how are people navigating that?
Yeah, that's a good question because we got pretty much a front row seat to that because right now it's
Yeah.
the reroute, the detour is Railroad Street here, which is next to our office too.
Hmm.
It seems to be going fine. Yeah, there's never a perfect time when it comes to construction. Obviously up here north, you can't do that all year long. So I know this is the first opportunity to do that.
Get
Uh,
it done and get it out of the way.
yeah,
So,
exactly. I think so. So actually, sure, can it be a little inconvenience at times? It has, but overall, it seems to be working out pretty well.
sure.
And I think we'll all manage.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just so people know what's happening is that they're increasing the size of the culvert that this local creek then dumps into Lake Hayward. And
Yep.
so, because we had some serious flooding several years ago when that creek just couldn't hold it and the culverts were backed up, and we had to close down 63 and Railroad Street because of flooding. So, hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll correct that.
You got it. It's one of those things. It's a very short term inconvenience in some ways, if you even want to call it that, but long term positive effects. So we're
Yeah.
looking to having forward to having the project complete.
Yeah. Well, what's happening at the chamber? Recently had a Business After Five event. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. This month we actually had our business after five a week early.
Mhm.
We typically have our business after fives, which is a social networking event for our members. Typically, they're placed on the last Thursday of each month. Um, in May, we typically move that up a week. We just know the Thursday going into Memorial Day weekend is pretty crazy for our businesses and everything in prep for what's to come.
Oh,
So,
sure. Yeah.
our month of May business after five we had last week out at Deerfoot Lodge. Good to see you there, Mark, as always. Deerfoot Lodge sits on the Chippewa flowage. They were a wonderful host. Deerfoot Lodge and Resort, that is.
Hmm.
It's so cool to be out. Heck, the water actually hasn't been out of the flowage for all that long, but you'd
Right.
never know it, from the setting out there now. And the business after fives are really cool events for us. It's a chance for us to bring a lot of our members together at one time. And we've already gotten off to a nice start this year. In January, Spirit Choice Credit Union and the Steakhouse and Lodge co-hosted our business after five. We skipped February because of murky. We typically just skip that altogether.
Yeah.
In March, the Northwoods Community Food Shelf was our host. Last month, late April, Enbridge partnered with Coop's Pizza, did a wonderful job there. Deerfoot Lodge, as I said last week, Coming up next month is Backroads Coffee. That's going to be June 29th. It's going to be the Thursday after Muskie Fest. It's pretty funny to be already talking about things post Muskie Fest because that's clearly right in our sights right now. We're just under a month away from Muskie Fest at this point. But the Business After Fives, I always like to give a shout out to those because, again, we encourage all of our members, all their employees, all their staff that want to come and always good refreshments, conversation. We typically have very nice door prizes there, a 50-50 raffle. So we regularly send out those notices to our members in advance. But again, mark your calendars now for our next one, which is June 29th at Backroads Coffee.
Okay. Yeah. And then speaking of Muskie Fest, what's the schedule that's happening? You also have a walk run registration and some other events that you're going to be working on.
Yes. Muskie Fest, the first thing that everybody should get down are the dates. And it's June 23rd through the 25th. That'll take place right downtown Hayward, Wisconsin. That's a Friday through Sunday schedule. Although we even have a couple of things that start off on the Thursday, beginning with sidewalk sales at our downtown businesses, which will continue throughout the weekend, actually. Our Fishing Has No Boundaries fishing contest actually does kick off on Thursday. But things, and actually the carnival, I should say, too, which is over at the Fuller lot, thanks to St. Joe's Church. They're allowing us to use that lot again.
Sure.
That will also kick off Thursday at 5 o'clock. But things really begin in earnest on Friday, the 23rd. Starting with the setup down at Main Street, all the art and craft vendors coming in. Things will be kicking off 9 o'clock on that Friday morning, June 23rd. There's way too much to touch on everything individually. I'll touch on a few things here, but I will say also up front, muskiefest.com is the go-to source for folks. That's really going to be the best source of all things Muskie Fest, and would encourage everybody to take a look at that as well, including the full schedule there. It's got our sponsors. Muskie Fest is sponsored, or is presented by, I should say, Adventure RV and Power Sports of Hayward. So we're so grateful to them for doing that. They've been a multi-year actually presenting sponsor of Muskie Fest, and it goes without saying these types of community events don't tend to happen without that level of support. So we're very grateful for that. So many of our other businesses are a part of, as a sponsor, Muskie Fest as well. So they are certainly not alone, but again, big hats off to them, our presenting sponsor. We'll have chalk art on 2nd Street again this year. That was a hit last year. We tried it for the first time, and that's sponsored and presented by Deerfoot Lodge and Resort. Thanks for bringing up. That's our Muskie Fest homepage and some of the pics there that you got on the screen, Mark. We'll have the Woodland Dance Troupe, the Native American dancers, on the Seven Winds Casino main stage. That's always a early kickoff for Muskie Fest weekend. That'll be taking place mid-morning on that Friday. It's something that we all look forward to each year, and we're looking forward to it very much again. The Hayward Lions and Hayward Area Rotary will once again have their beer tents right there on the main intersection of Main Street and 2nd Street. We'll have things like a Learn to Fish event at Shoes Pond. Of course, over the course of the weekend, the Muskie Fest Queen will be crowned. We're always looking forward to that. We'll have a watermelon contest actually on Friday. I mentioned that because that's become a really, really big deal. It's especially for kids, but hey, we have an adult contest when it comes to watermelon eating as well. So that happens around the noon hour actually at the main stage. We'll have live music actually over the course of Friday and Saturday. I know Sean and Ian Okamoto are starting things off on Friday afternoon actually for that. I know the Hayward Hawks are in town that weekend, as they traditionally do set their schedule to be in town. That's a traditional large part of Muskie Fest and an important part of it. Larry Drifters will be on Friday night, and then we start all over again on Saturday, which is a a day that's going to include everything from our Muskie Fest car show. We've been doing that now for 6 years, actually. We're going to have a 100-foot sub made by Coop's Pizza. That's going to, you're going to see that on Saturday at Muskie Fest. That's going to be a sight to see. You may want to get there early before it's eaten.
Yeah.
We're going to have the Sawyer County wood chop. So we're literally going to have some lumberjack action going on right downtown, actually, on Muskie Fest weekend, specifically this Saturday. That'll be taking place. We'll have the Rod Lundberg kids game on Saturday as well. That's going to be Saturday morning. We'll have things like a hula hoop contest. And then what some say maybe is the main event of all of Muskie Fest is the Dairy Queen Dilly Bar eating contest.
I was wondering if you were going to talk about that. Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be at noon sharp on Saturday at the main stage. So that's something not to be missed.
Yep.
That's for kids and adults alike as well.
I wonder if any of the contestants for the Dilly Bar are going to do the watermelon, because you can't put that in your mouth whole. And
yeah,
some have done in the past with the Dilly Bar. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Yep, very, very true. Tell you what, that's always great fun to watch. Again, that is for kids, but we also have an adult section when it comes to Dilly Bar eating contest. So again, that's going to be taking place on Saturday. There's going to be the movie Blood Hook screening, which was actually done last year too. That was filmed back in the 80s in the Hayward area, the movie Blood Hook. And that's going to be shown once again at the Park Center during Muskie Fest weekend. Saturday night specifically, that's going to occur. And then, of course, we're going to have music on Saturday night as well from our main stage too. And then we roll into Sunday. That's when we have our Muskie Fest 5K run walk and 10K run. That's presented by Hayward Area Memorial Hospital. You can go to muskiefest.com to register for that. It's not too late to register. We'd encourage anybody that wants to participate. Immediately following that, there's a minnow run for kids 12 and under. Takes place, right in the same area. So, mom or dad can come and run the race, and the youngsters can do the minnow run afterwards too, which is always neat to see. We'll have food trucks, by the way, on Main Street too throughout the weekend.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, the carnival will be running concurrently each day. Muskie Fest is open as well, and it's just, again, 2 blocks over to get to that. And then finally, things culminate with our grand parade on Sunday afternoon at 1:00. And that grand parade is presented by Nelson Lumber and Florida Ceiling. And we are accepting Grand Marshal nominations. We have been accepting nominations, but that process actually takes place all the way up until June 9th. So there's a little while yet. We would encourage, if anybody has somebody that they want to nominate, it's a very simple nomination process. You can grab the form or fill it out actually online. You can come into our Hayward Information Center too if you'd like. Either way, we need that formal nomination for those that, exude community spirit, volunteerism, leadership, just great folks in our communities who we're looking for and to honor for our Grand Marshal at this year's Muskie Fest.
Yeah, very good. And you have some apparel already with the new logo on it and stuff?
We sure do. Our Muskie Fest commemorative T-shirt has been here in our Hayward Information Center. I mean, right now is the best time for for every one of us living locally here to purchase those. They'll be out at our merchandise tent at Muskie Fest as well. So there'll certainly be plenty there. But if you want to get one early in a full pick of sizes, you can come right into our Hayward Information Center. We've gotten a lot of good comments. I know it's a forest green base color with a really cool logo based on the theme "Wishin' I Was Fishin'." So they've already been very popular so far, but we've got plenty left at this point for sure. You can find them in the Hayward Information Center.
Very good. Cool. So what else? Let's get beyond Muskie after you relax and take a few days off after Muskie Fest, because you and your staff are going to need it. What's coming up with the rest of the summer, and how can people find this calendar of events?
There's, and that's, we literally make up. I'm going to hold up our
Yep.
we've got a hard copy calendar events brochure that's right here in our information center that somebody can always come and pick up. This folds out. You can see this is only frankly a sampling of all the events that are happening in the area. So we would encourage anybody that wants to get their hands on one of these, just pop into our information center, because we have events throughout the year, as anybody knows that lives here. But things really do start heating up, frankly, starting this weekend. So we consider a big part of our job is to help people keep track of what's going on, when and where. So the other source that I'd point people to for our most comprehensive listing of events of all would be on haywardareachamber.com. There's an events button there that's pretty easy to find. That even gives you more events that are happening throughout the area and some of the details related to those. So we'd certainly encourage folks to check that out.
Yeah, I refer to the online events calendar often. In fact, you can actually subscribe to that calendar, so it shows up on my home calendar as well, and I can see what's happening and plan my summer out.
Yeah. So, and you obviously can attest, Mark, you literally kind of sift through that. There's so much stuff there, but we like to capture and kind of set everybody up, whether it's our visitors coming into town, whether it's our local residents, to know what's going on. And that really, the online calendar is really, if there's one place somebody's going to look, that's where I would point them to.
Sure.
If you want to get the most comprehensive list of all.
And finally, the new shop and dine guides are in and ready for distribution.
There you go. We produce a shop and dine guide that's a kind of an easy kind of pocket size that can fold out, that lists the various shopping and dining in our area. It's a chance for us to showcase so many of our members. What we like as well when it comes to the shop and dine guide is there's maps. It's complete with maps that help people navigate. We find that that's pretty important. I've just folded it out so you can see some regional, and there's city maps here, just because there's members all throughout the area. That's a very, very handy guide. So you can pick that up at our Hayward Information Center. It's also a guide that we distribute quite widely in the region. You'll find it in the magazine racks that you might see in area or regional restaurants and motels, like that. So that's something we produce annually, and we've literally just had it for actually it came out right before fishing opener weekend. So we've got plenty of those for those that wish to have one.
Sure. Very good. All right, Chris. Well, I think that covers just about everything, doesn't it, for this time?
Yeah. It's at least a small smattering of what's going on. I wish everybody a fun, enjoyable, and safe holiday weekend coming up. Let's start the summer off with a bang.
You bet. All right. Thank you, Chris, for joining me here at WOJB. We appreciate it, and we'll check back in with you next month.
You bet. Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
You bet.
That was Chris Ruckdaschel of the